Hello, everyone. All right, let's begin. Everybody, welcome, and thank you for being here. My name is Saro. I'm a dog trainer, also coach dog owners, and welcome to another live session. In this live session, basically, I'm going to try to answer your dog-related questions. Any questions that you have, let me know in the chat area, and I will answer it. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking the button right around here. Click the subscribe button, and also make sure that you hit the bell icon as well, so you will get notified as soon as I go live or I post a new video. In this channel, we focus on training dogs. We focus on me trying to coach you to become an educated dog lover. By being educated dog lover, you will do the right thing. You will make the right uh, choices. You will do the right type of training your dog, which is basically using play and praise as a reward system rather than using food, treats, aversive tools, or method, force, or domination. If you are trying to train your dog or your puppy and you're having a hard time, you want to make sure to subscribe to the channel, because there are lots of content in this channel coming up, and there are already lots of content on in the channel itself. So you go ahead and make sure that you watch most of the videos that you can in my channel. And if you are already subscribed and you are one of the regular viewers of the channel, thank you for being here. Welcome to the channel and welcome to the program. I see that John Kipola is here. Dino is here. Fly Word, I think, is here. And I'll start answering your questions. And as you could see, I started the show with this trivia question. And this is something that I'm going to continue on showing throughout the program. Uh, just want to gauge your knowledge about dog behavior, dog body language, and all that. Plus, I want to see if you can engage with this content and understand a little bit more about dogs. So, as you can see, that's a picture of me with a few dogs, and I want to see if you could guess which one of these dogs is the happiest. Okay, if you're looking at these dogs visually, can you tell which one is the happiest? If you know the answer, leave the answer in the chat or in the comments area. I would really love to learn your feedback and understand you a little bit better as well. I can see that Fly is saying that it's all of them. Good guess. We'll find out. I'll reveal the answer pretty soon. Um, yeah, and it would be great also, not only that, when you're guessing which one of these dogs is the happiest, also explain why do you think that either all of them are happy or one of them is the happiest. Why do you think uh, is the happiest? So let me know in the answers there. That would be great. So I'll bring this up throughout the show, just so everybody can um, get involved with this kind of trivia. But let's get started with the Q&A. Let's. I tend to over explain questions, so I'm gonna try my best to um, control myself and answer the way that it's short, but it makes sense. So I can see John Kipola is in the house. John Kipola is one of my students, and with his cute beagle. And thank you for being here. Dino is saying also hello everyone to everybody, which is great that he's Is here fly word, I believe it is. How do I train my aggressive bully? Has a question. This is something that it's common. So I would really appreciate if you could, put it in the banner that is going here. Uh, Mention your dog's breed, age, and also sex as well. Age and sex are very important to me as well. Beside them having the breed information, that would be great. So I like to know, Fly Ward, how old is your bully, and why do you think it's aggressive? Aggression is something that I think many people misread it. Aggression is not what we usually think it is. Aggression is the results of certain things that have happened to a dog, basically. What I mean by that is, if the dog is showing aggression, is trying to communicate something, um, is trying to relieve its stress somehow, and is trying to get rid of that stress that is inside through aggression, I would say. And aggression is basically, uh, it's manifested, and it's the results of all this combined aggression, that combined stress that is built up in the dog. um, so most of the time aggression is misread by humans, because when the dog is reacting, you just simply say, oh, that's aggression. um, where most of the time it could be that the dog is saying, for example, hey, I don't don't touch me, or uh, don't look at me. Why are you looking at me like that? Why are you being weird? Stop. I don't feel like doing this or feel like doing that. So basically there's something deeper happening in the dog. If a dog is behaving aggressive, I don't want you to misunderstand the fact that yes, aggression is something that we have to deal with, but it's not the way usually we should be. We usually don't treat it properly. What I mean by that is, usually we get aggressive towards the dog who's aggressive as well, and that's not a good thing. Because what happens is, when you when you try to put fire out with fire, in most cases it has to be really controlled. It has to be really um, precise. A dog behavior, as a dog trainer could do it, but most dog trainers also mess up that process itself. But what it is basically, you want to make sure that you're not treating aggression with aggression. If the dog is aggressive, it's giving you a signal, it's giving you a sign that, hey, there's something going on deeper inside, and I don't know how to express myself. I don't know how to tell you that I'm stressed and all that. And you just have to you just have to figure that out and help the dog to be less stressed. So what that means is, you have to, in general, you have to figure out that, are you based on my formula is, are you providing your dog's daily five essential needs? Let me see if I can share the screen. um, are you providing, and this is something that I always remind people, are you providing your dog's daily five essential needs? If you're not providing your dog's daily five essential needs, what happens? Your dog is going to get stressed and aggressive, right? Those five daily essential needs are proper form of exercise, proper form of training. You have to train a dog, especially if you feel like your dog is aggressive. You have to train it. You have to provide that mental stimulation. Exercise is a physical stimulation. Training is a mental stimulation. Socialization. Your dog probably is lacking social skills too. if it's aggressive towards other dogs, people, animals, and you or someone else, probably is lacking social skills. So you want to provide socialization, proper form of socialization, proper form of care. Now, you would say, okay, I'm providing the best care. And I know most people, they do provide proper care for their dogs. But main thing that I want you to focus here is, are you providing um, proper diet for your dog? The diet that you provide for your dog is very effective into your dog's mental and well-being and overall health of your dog. Are you providing fresh food? Are you trying to add some fresh food to your dog's diet, for example? If you're providing just the dog food that you buy from the store, which is kibble or dry food, that can cause a lot of things to go wrong, internally, health wise, um, mentally. It does affect dogs. Toxins builds toxins in your dog's body. Toxins cause a lot of inflammations, causes a lot of health issues to develop. So maybe try to feed fresh food as much as you can, and then share affection at the right time, at the right state of mind. Are you providing all these five essential needs on daily basis properly? Focus on that, Flyboard, and see if this formula is giving you something to think about. If you need more information regarding these five essential needs, watch videos on my channels. Most of my videos are based around this philosophy and based on around this formula. So learn more, provide proper form of exercise training, socialization, care, and affection for your dog, and then you will see that the aggression is going to start to fade away. So think about that. And I thank you for the guess. We'll find out later on if you're correct or not. I'll let you know. So stay tuned. Thank you for being here, Flyboard. Yes, Rue is name of dog of John Kipola. Rue is 1 years old this week. Great birthday boy. Rue is a birthday boy. Happy birthday to Rue. And from Dino or Dino, I can, let me see, what was it? Did I say Cipolla? Dino, I would say Dino. I'm very bad with names, so pardon my way of saying the names. John Cipolla. I remember you told me it's Cipolla. Keep forgetting that. And Dino is saying, how do I stop my dog's resource guarding? Okay, resource guarding is something that we have to look a little bit deeper. One of the reasons dogs become resource guarder is because it's in their system now. What I mean by that is most puppies, when they are born and they need to be fed by mom has limited supply of food. So some puppies have a hard time getting food. So what happens is they suffer. Imagine you are a week old or 2 weeks old and you're having a hard time getting to food. Food is very important in that stage, at that age. You're having a hard time um, getting to food, right? From mom, right? The milk from mom. And if you have a hard time getting to the food, for example, either your size is the problem, or you are just not strong enough to get to the place at the right time, at the right spot to get food from mom, then you're having a hard time getting that food. Then what happens is getting food to you becomes an obsession. Getting food and having food becomes a very, I would say, very challenging and very stressful con- idea, and you have a very stressful connection with food, right? So it starts from there. Some dogs, they do go through that experience. Imagine if a mom is giving birth to 6 to 8 puppies at a time, and she has only six, you know, outlets. The seventh and eighth ones are always going to have a hard time to get to the location and get the food that they want. Um, so they are born and raised and developed with that mentality. And once a puppy or a young puppy or a young dog experiences that, that's it. It becomes tattooed in their brain. It becomes a learned behavior. You cannot get rid of that behavior anymore. It's there. The only thing that the human can do in that situation, unfortunately, when a dog has resource guarding problem, is to manage it. Managing this behavior is either you feed the dog separately, let's say from other dogs, or separate from yourself, give space and enough time for the dog to eat so it doesn't uh, feel stressed anymore. The food supply is easy for the dog. Just let it eat. Don't try to force it to get rid of that behavior. Unfortunately, you cannot get rid of that behavior. Just let the dog eat in peace. Uh, don't punish the dog. I've seen few shows and few trainers who use fake hands to desensitize the dog from reacting to the food. That has to be done with a professional dog trainer, with the help of professional dog trainer. It takes a little bit time to do that, to desensitize the dog. Normal dog owners, they shouldn't try that. They shouldn't even think about that. Just let the dog eat. When it comes to food and there's food around, you have to manage it. If you think that there is food around, keep your dog away from that situation. For example, I had a case, for example, a client, the dog was resource guarding, food reactive, and they were putting a party, and the guests were there. There were food all over the place. So I suggested not to put the dog in that environment. Keep the dog in a crate, keep the dog in a different room, keep the dog away from the guests. Don't bring it there. Give it a bone or frozen stuffed corn in the room, in the crate, separately. Let it enjoy that there while your guests are enjoying their party at your place, for example. So don't mix them up. Don't force the dog to get rid of that behavior. Unfortunately, this is one of the cases that we can't get rid of the dog's behavior, resource guarding. It's something that most of the time is built up and developed in very young age. I would say at the age of a week or 2 weeks of age of the puppy, and usually we can't get rid of it. Because puppies are very uh, sensitive, and at that age, when behavior is or experience is experienced in that age, they learn that behavior. That's why it's very important when you have a puppy, when you have a young dog, very important to train and uh, teach the dog a lot of information, I would say, at that young age, because that's the age that they absorb all the information. Uh, it's a good thing. There are pros and cons in that age, young age. When you have a young dog, yes, pros are that you can give a lot of information to the dog, and the dog puppy learns a lot faster and just sucks in all the information. But the cons are that if your dog learns something bad, practices or experiences something bad in that age, they learn that too. If they learn negative information, negative experiences in that age, they learn those information as well, and that lasts long as well, lasts the lifetime. So the pros and cons is that you can, yes, give information, teach the dog, train the dog. Yes, they absorb all the information, is last forever. But the cons are that if they experience the wrong things, they learn those as well and last their lifetime as well. So I hope that makes sense. Something to think about. Dino. John Cipolla is saying, I can't tell. They all look happy. We'll see. Stay tuned. We'll see if your answer is correct or not. Let me just remind everybody again what we are talking about here. So we have a trivia question throughout the show. Your task is to figure out which one of these dogs is the happiest. Yeah, which one is the happiest dog from all of these 6 dogs that are in the picture with me? Let me know by writing your guess in the chat area or in the comments area. Throughout the show, I'm going to remind you about this trivia that we have, and I'll answer it pretty soon. I'll start answering this question trivia myself, and I'll explain why. And I would love to know also why you think certain dogs or certain dog is the happiest. Not only which one is the happiest, but why as well. That's a good guess as well. That's a very good guess as well. Pretty, very good guesses. All right. We have a question from Chipotle Man. That's easy. That's easy for me to say. Chipotle Man is asking, what is your favorite exercise to do with terriers, and do you recommend flirt poles for them? I think I know what you mean by flirt poles. Let me just see if I can bring the image. So everybody knows what we are talking about. Okay, so flirt poles are these tools for terriers. You're asking if these are good exercises. I would say yes and no. You know, I would do this with a dog if obviously the dog likes it. If the dog likes it, yes, why not? But you don't want to do this for a long period of time. So here's the thing that I would suggest: the pros and cons of using this, this activity, this tool, gadget. If you practice this with your terriers are, they have been bred to chase and grab and find rats and small animals. If you do that, if you practice this behavior, is this game with your dog, what you're doing, you're encouraging your dog to practice that breed, instinctual breed exercise or activity that is bred for. which is in many cases, in many people, in many experts would say, that's a great thing. You're allowing the dog to do what it wants to do, which in many cases, I agree with that. You have to let your breed of dog do what it's bred for. But the problem is, if it becomes out of control, then it's a problem. So what I mean by that, so let me give you an example of my own personal experience. I deal with beagles. There's a beagle there. I deal with beagles. So beagles have been bred to hunt and let the hunter know where the prey is, right? So I like to let my beagles to sniff and do whatever they feel like to do as a breed, do that activity. But also I teach my beagles to walk properly on a leash as well, and to be really connected to the idea of, yes, you can do that, but also I want you to control and manage it and walk, or not to do that as well. Don't stick to that activity the whole time. So for example, when I go for walks with my dogs, my beagles, or any dog as well, anyways, I break it down to some walks, some formal walk that you can do whatever you want, some walk that you do whatever I ask, some walk that we give and take. You walk a little bit, I walk a little bit, you walk a little bit the way you want, and we walk a little bit the way I want. So I like to do that, but the hardest part is to control that. Now, if you stimulate a terrier or a dog with this activity, with this toy, with this gadget, too much, then you are training the dog to become reactive to that activity. So when, let's say, you're off leashing your terrier, walking off leash, or you walk on a leash with your dog in the whatever, in the walk on the park or wherever you are, and all of a sudden your dog sees something that is similar. You see, this can look like a mouse, or a little animal that is just passing by. Squirrel. It looks like a squirrel, right? So what happens is, if you're walking, all of a sudden you have trained your dog to chase it. So naturally, the dog is going to start to chase that animal. Now, the hardest part is, are you going to be able to control your dog not to chase that animal? Is your dog verbally, physically trained to stop and be controlled not to chase that animal or whatever it is? That's the hard part that you want to focus on. It's not I'm against exercises like that and activities like that, as long as you combine some form of control and management, and being able to control the dog in any situation that resembles that activity that you have been practicing with your dog. No matter whatever gadget you're using or whatever activity you're using with your dog, you have to make sure that you have control over your dog. If you do, you can do whatever you want. Okay, Chipotle Man, I hope that makes sense. It's a good exercise. My favorite exercises are walking a dog, just going for walks, if a decent walk. Play with my dog the game that the dog loves to play, right? Um, Meanwhile, I'm training the dog using the game that the dog loves to play. I train the dog as well. I like to play games like obstacle courses, be challenging, making sure the dog figures out how to solve a problem. Games like that I like to play games that challenges the brain, challenges the mind of the dog. They have to figure out how to solve certain problems. those are the good games that I would suggest. Um, I'm going to continue with the questionnaire, and as we go along, I wanted just to remind you as well that I have a program that I'm very proud of it. It's called Perfect Dogs Plan, right? Perfect Dog Plan. What it is basically you're hiring me for your dog, yourself, to work with you for a lifetime with your dog. And I just wanted to share one of the recent feedbacks that I got, testimonials that I got from one of my students. Let me see if I can share this with you. Share screen, Windows.
We decided to get a beagle puppy this year, and before that, I started watching YouTube videos on how to handle beagles, and I found Saro on YouTube. So we started watching him and followed the advice that we found, realized that it was much harder than we anticipated. So we considered doing a puppy class, but it was only once a week for an hour with a lot of other dogs. And he had already mentioned in his videos that probably wasn't the best. So we signed up for the Perfect Dog Training. And I will tell you, between the weekly calls, the access to Saro, who responds immediately, well, I consider immediately because I'm on a different coast, for all of our issues, has made all the difference in the world to us. We have a dog that we could not really take out and be around people. And now we have a dog that is a well-behaved beagle at 10 months. It has changed our lives because I have never had a dog that behaved, that sat, stayed, listened, played. And one of the biggest things that we learned from Saro that we could see the change in Smith was how important it is to just connect with your dog, to be with your dog 100%, to be looking him in the eye, to not be doing anything else, to play with him and train him and exercise him and socialize him and give him affection. Didn't know about those 5 things, did not understand that. And he is amazing. And we never ever use treats. And that I got right in the very beginning from one of his first videos. Our dogs don't get treats. Every once in a while after food, but they obey commands just because with nothing else, with what we've taught them, with play and toys. So if there's ever any hesitancy, let me tell you, for a lifetime of dog training, there's no way it's not worth every penny. And I can tell you, just in the first 3 months, I'd spend that much in the first 3 months because it made our lives wonderful. So go, Saro.
So I appreciate that feedback from one of my students who's working with me at the moment, actually, Kathleen. So if you are really interested in working with me and you want to join my program and it's something that you're struggling with your dog and you're having a hard time dealing with your dog and you need a coach, a dog trainer who's going to be supporting you for a lifetime, that's very, the key word there is lifetime of coaching and training you, that you can learn everything that you need to know, lessons, training, games. In my program, we don't train dog using food or treats. We use games to train dogs. You play with your dog. You start understanding your dog's psychology. We have monthly workshops. We have weekly coaching calls. Every week, I'm there to answer your questions. We have a Facebook group, that community group that supports each other. We don't use treats or force or aversive tools, and you get a lifetime access to my program, access to me, lifetime access to everything and anything that you have to go through and have a hard time dealing with. I'm there to support you. So if you are interested in this program, this is an invitation-based program. What that means is I have to make sure that you are the right person to join this program, and you have to make sure if I'm the right person to work with. If you feel that I am the right person to guide you and help you and train you and coach you. So therefore, what we do, we set up a free Zoom call that we talk to each other. We figure out if we are the right match, and if we are, then you get an invitation to the program. You start working with me one on one. But if not, if you're not the right person, and I don't feel like you are the right person for my program, or you don't feel like that I am the right person to coach you, that's it. Nothing attached, right? This is a free Zoom call that we do with everybody that wants to work with me. And if you want to do that, if you're interested in that, just make sure that you click on the description of this video. There's a link there that you can set up that free call, and hopefully I will see you then. To learn more, you can visit the website as well, sarodogtraining.com. All right, let's go to the next question from Alex. Alex, thank you for being here. I hope you have subscribed to the channel. I hope you have clicked the subscribe button right there. Click on the subscribe button, and also make sure that you hit the bell icon as well. So my 1-year boy beagle has been trained with treats for a year now. I want to use play and praise now, but doesn't like to play with toys. He does like talk, but only with a certain toy. So this is a good question, and this is a good challenge. Many dog owners have this challenge. Actually, I am going to make a video about how to play with your dog and train your dog and exercise your dog under 5 minutes. It's coming up soon. Make sure to, again, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss that video. Many people are having a hard time in a way to play with their dogs, have a good time with their dog. And when somebody tells me that my dog doesn't like to play or doesn't like this and that, my answer is always, if that's the case, that means you and your dog, you're not really enjoying each other. You're not enjoying life the way it should be. When it comes to our dogs, excuse me, dogs naturally, they love to play. They are born with this nature, with this intuition in themselves that they like to play or be praised. Every human being likes to be praised also, I'm sure. Dogs love to be praised as well. And play is another natural form of activity that you can use with your dog, not only to train them, but also just have fun and have a good time and build a good relationship with your dog. If you are seeing that your dog is not showing in play, certain games or play in general, I would say look deep inside of yourself. Are you pretending that you are playing with your dog? Are you really in that moment? Are you really present in that moment? Or are you just pretending that you're playing with your dog? Are you just faking it? Are you just forcing yourself to play with your dog? Are you trying to play with your dog, and at the same time, are you thinking about the bills that you have to pay? Are you thinking about all other things that are happening in your life? If so, you need to clear your mind. You have to be in the moment with your dog. Literally, you have to be clearing your mind and say, you know what, I'm going to dedicate my time and energy to my dog. Be in the moment, literally. And if you fake it, if you think about something else, if you are not in the moment, your dog is going to feel that. Your dog is going to sense that. They do have, I would say, mild version of sixth sense. Dogs have that. The reason for that I say that is because, you see, dogs, unlike humans, for example, humans, they, if I'm here in this moment, I'm really focused on you, and I'm really focused on the program, on this show, on this activity that I'm doing now. I'm not really thinking about other stuff, even though other stuff are coming into my mind, but I push them away and I try not to focus on them. I'm trying to focus on this. Um, but there are hundreds of things that are coming to my way. I have to read your questions. I have to, select the video, select this, select that. There's so many things going on in my mind, in my head, right? But dogs all day long, what they do is just they watch you. They watch and see everything around themselves, and mainly they are watching you. They're sensing you. They're judging you in a way, right? Uh, so they are very in tune with us, unlike that we are not in tune with dogs. They are very in tune with us. So what I mean by that, they are very focused on our energy. They feel the energy too. They feel what we feel, right? And they are very connected to us, unlike that we are not very connected to them. So they read us. They know exactly how we feel deep inside. And this concept that dogs can predict the earthquake coming. Animals in general, they can predict energy of earthquake coming up. They can feel somebody who is going to have a seizure before they have a seizure, so they can read you inside your body, inside your mind, inside your soul. So they can read you, they can feel you really good, right? So that's the point that I want to bring in. um, so if you pretend, they can sense that. If you're not in the moment, first of all, they can feel it, they can sense it. They're going to say, you know what, you're not in the moment, you're cheating, you don't really mean to play with me, you're just doing it because Saro said so. you know um, you have to be, first of all, in the moment. Second of all, I want you to be thinking like you're a child. Get back to your childhood. Remember when you were a kid, when you were a child. you know when we are kids, when we are a child, we don't care what's happening around us. We are ourselves. We really are showing our real personality, right? And if you're in that mentality, in that personality that is having fun, is having a good time, is just hanging around with a dog and being a kid and playing, no matter what it is, then you will see your dog is going to be literally in tune with you. Now, the reason I say that is because most of us, we forget to be human in most of the times. And dogs are good reminders to us that, hey, be human for time being, right? Don't be the dad. Don't be the person who's going in 9 to 5 to work. Don't think about this. Don't be that. Don't be that person. Be yourself. And if you are yourself, if you can become yourself, and you start clearing your mind and be in the moment and really enjoy having a good time with your kid, with your dog, just like you would do with your kids, or being yourself kid. Nobody's watching you. Who cares what people uh, judge judge you? Who cares what people think about you? It's at your home. You are with your dog. Just be yourself. Just relax, have fun, have a good time with your dog. Nobody is watching you. Just be yourself, be a kid, be a real person. Then you will see that your dog is going to join any game that you play. Any game that you play. Dogs love to play. They want to interact with you. They love to interact with humans. As long as we are able to interact with our dogs, as long as we can focus and provide that time and energy and effort to connect with our dogs and interact with our dogs, they will interact back with us, no matter what it is. no matter what stupid game you play. And on the top of the cake would be if you play the favorite game of the dog. Whew, that is going to be even better, right? So I hope that makes sense. I hope I know I explained a little bit too deep and I go a little bit over, but I love this is why I do these live sessions because it gives me an opportunity to go over the limits and go over the the limits of a video that it has to be 5 or 6 minutes. In here, I can be myself and explain a little bit more. I hope I'm making sense and um, I hope I'm giving you something deeper to look into and think about as well. So, thank you for your question, and I hope I was able to help you. We have a question from Kate's Animals. I am currently training my service dog, and I was wondering how to teach commands without words. Very good question. So, when it comes to training our dogs, we have to start from the basics. You have to start from the zero before you get to the place and level that you say, you know what, um, this is what we can do as well. So, you start training the dog using this formula. So if you want to teach a dog, let's say a command, right? Let's say you want to teach the dog a command of sit, for example. Let me see if I can bring you up a video. But I think, we can just talk about it actually. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to play that in the background, just so you have a visual as well. So if we are teaching a dog a command, let's say sit command, right? We start with this step: name of the dog, command, hand signal. So we have name of the dog is basically to get the dog to pay attention to us. Command is the verbal cue of the command, and the hand signal is there to support and add a little bit more um, uh, emphasize on the command that we're giving to the dog. So you start with these three: name of the dog, command, hand signal. Now, as the dog gets better and better in that command, in whatever you have asked your dog to do, whatever you have been training your dog, let's say sit or something like that, whatever it is, um, you you start teaching the dog to sit and stay and all that. And then when the dog gets better at, let's say, the command of sit, and you can ask your dog to sit uh, on verbal command. Let's say you say Rover sit, Rover sits, right? This is a hand signal for sit, and I'm saying sit. So I'm giving both verbal and hand signal at the same time. So when the dog learns this, then I can do both. I can do this, I can do sit. So either give verbal or give just a hand signal. So you have to start somewhere. You have to start from the beginning, teach both. Now, the challenging part would be if you have a dog who's deaf and can hear you, then you're only teaching with the hand signals. That is something that you have to physically teach the dog how to sit. So, what I mean by that is you have to literally show the dog how to sit, what you mean by when you say Rover sit. So what that means is you have to physically kind of teach and show the dog to sit. I don't know why my video is not playing. Let me see. So here we go. Sit if I tell him to sit. But I'm gonna. Why is lagging?
Pretend, and we're going to pretend that I've told him to sit.
Why is lagging? For some reason, my internet is lagging today. I can't show you this video for some reason. I hope I could show you. But basically, what you want to do is just show the dog how to sit. If the verbal cue is,
I want to teach you how you're going to keep.
if the verbal cue is not, if you're not able to teach the dog the verbal cue, let me see. Maybe I'll choose a different video.
Of this.
Let me just see if I can find another video that.
It's a playtime animal. So Josh over here, sit. Josh is going to sit, and I'm going to tell him to stay. Josh, stay. We're going to go to the end of the leash, and I'm going to call him. Josh, come. Good boy, good girl.
So that's what I mean when I say you have to physically teach the dog what sit means, what stay means, and all that.
Josh is going to sit, and I'm going to tell him to stay. Josh, stay. We're going to the end of the leash, and I'm going to call him. Josh, come. Good boy, good girl. Yes, good boy. I'm just going to praise him, and this is our playtime. So remember, you've never played this game before, so he doesn't know what's going on, why you're doing this or anything like this. But he'll figure it out eventually, and we're going to continue on the game. So here we go. So Josh is getting excited. I'm going to tell him to sit again. Josh, sit. Yes. Josh, stay. I'm going to go. No. Nope. I'm going to go to the end. Nope. Good boy. If he breaks the command, all I say is no, a verbal cue, and he corrects himself. I'm going to go to the end of the leash. Somewhere there. I'm going to ask Josh to come. Josh, come. Good boy. Yes, I'm going to praise him. All right? So we're going to do this in a way that in the beginning, we're just going to go in front of him. I'm going to ask him to come. And then we're going to start going around him. So this time, I'm going to ask Josh to sit and stay. And I'm going to go on his side. And then I'm going to ask him to come. Josh, come. Good boy. Yes. So at first, we're going to try this on a leash. And then as it gets better and I get better, and we practice this over and over for weeks and maybe even months on leash, then I'm going to off leash him. So Josh, sit. Oh, I know. Josh, stay. So this time, I'm going to ask Josh to sit and stay. And I'm going to go behind him. And then I'm going to call him to come to me. Josh, come. Good boy. Yes. So I'm going to ask him again to sit. Josh, sit. Josh, stay. So this time, I'm back in front of him. So this time, I'm right in front of him. So I started in front of him. I went to right side. And then I went on his back. Then on his left side. Now I'm back in front of him. I'm going to ask him to come. Oh, yes. Good boy. Now I'm going to continue off leash, and I'm going to play with him. Yes. Good boy. Yes. So now it's a playtime and also training time. So just sit. Good. Sit. Stay. I'm going to go beside him. And this time I'm going to wait for, let's say, 20 seconds. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just come. Good boy. Yes. Good boy. Good boy. Yes. Right? Oh, he loves it. He loves it. I'm going to go behind him. This time I'm going to wait here for 30 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Josh, come. Good boy. Yes.
So as you can see, right there, when I'm behind Josh, for example, and I say come, he's just responding to my verbal, right? He's not responding to my hand signals or anything like that. But I could also just do hand signals, right? I could just use hand signals. So I hope that makes sense. Uh, and also, I wanted to use this opportunity to tell you that you see how playful I am with the dog, right? We're training and playing at the same time. I'm being playful. I'm being silly. I'm being that's my not my normal personality. This is my normal personality. But when you see me working with a dog, I'm just being a kid, right? I'm a 50 years old man, but act like a kid, right? Just think about it that way. Who doesn't want to be a kid, right? Just be a kid with your dog. That's I wanted. I just wanted to make sure that you understand that what I mean. Playful, um, and being silly. It's very important. So I hope that made sense. Um, I hope you understood that you could train your dog both verbally only as well. You could train it, but you have to teach it. You have to start from somewhere to get there, right? It is possible, but you need to build the foundation first and then build up on that. Uh, Kate's Animals is asking, what are your opinion on dog daddy? I don't know what that means. There's a photo. So we have an answer for the trivia question that we have. Let me see if it's going to show. Not going to show. Let me share the right screen. So we have a guess for this question. Markov is guessing the one close to the human. This one. Good guess. I'll answer it in few minutes. In few minutes, I'll answer the question. Very good question and very good guess, though. I want to go back to Kate's question, Dog Daddy. Do you mean the raw food Dog Daddy? Is that the one that you're asking? Let me know in the chat area if I'm correct, Kate's Animal. So Chipotle Man is saying, good advice. My dog is a Chihuahua mix, but has Dachshund, mini Schnauzer, and Rat Terrier in him, and he loves nipping my feet sometimes. Um, so that is a sign of a dog who's not guided to play the right game. So that's why he's doing that. I'm gonna have this picture beside me just so everybody's can guess this answer. Meanwhile, so if your Chipotle Man, if your dog is nipping you, is a sign that your dog is not guided to play the right game. That so he has come up with that game to play. Is that's how he's stimulating himself. So what you want to do is create a game that is more suitable and it's more uh, ideal with human activity, human game. Uh, Nipping and doing those stuff is good with dogs. They can do it to each other. They can tolerate, and it's a good game if they do it to each other. And you have to give an opportunity to a dog to do that, to practice those behaviors with other dogs, nipping and biting each other and all that. But when it comes to human and dog, you don't want them to play the same game that they play with dogs with humans, because they can harm you, they can injure you, and all that. So what I usually suggest to do is provide different form of game, different forms of mental and physical stimulation, so your dog doesn't have the energy to, first of all, to play that game, and second of all, if you give an opportunity to a dog to practice it with other dogs, then they don't need to practice it on you. uh, Layout Games YT is asking, Saro, are you vegan or vegetarian? I am not. I'm not. I'm not vegan or vegetarian. I eat everything in moderation. I would say mainly veggies and all that. I'm trying to reduce my meat consumption, but as a human being, we're all designed to eat meat and vegetables. I don't think it's healthy to be vegetarian or vegan. That's my personal opinion. Um, I think naturally we have to be eating everything, because that's how humans have been. In old times, in his prehistoric times, humans ate meat and vegetables, and that's how we have been designed to eat. I believe in species appropriate diet. This is something that I share with my dog lovers as well. So, species appropriate diet is very important to realize and focus on in the concept itself. Um, Dogs, as a species, they need to eat the diet that they need to eat, and humans, as a species, we need to eat the diet that is designed and ideal for us. Dogs, for example, they need to eat meat, but 75%, 80% has to be meat, and 25% needs to be vegetables. That's the species diet, species appropriate diet. Kibble or dry food is not a species appropriate diet. Now, humans also have been designed as a species to eat both meat and vegetables. They're not designed to eat only meat or only vegetables. We have to eat what our species is designed. So therefore, my answer to you is no. I'm not vegan or vegetarian. Chipotle Man says, "Yep, I use the word and the signal, and at all the time, all that were things like sit and down." Yeah, yeah, it's a good idea to use both verbal and verbal and uh, hand signals, physical cues as well. John is saying, "I hope he hope you will be doing more live stream. I set up an Instagram page for." Oh, cool! Let us know the link. We have Vlad has a question. I have a female dog. She doesn't pee or poop when I am outside with her. She's 5 months old. What can I do? If you have an issue with potty training, the problem is that what you want to do is make sure, it's very simple actually, make sure that you, first of all, feed proper diet, species appropriate diet. That will help with peeing and pooping issue. If you feed kibble or dry food, your dog is going to be over drinking and having a lot of accidents. Therefore, it's hard to control and manage it and train it. So, therefore, I highly suggest species appropriate diet, fresh food, raw diet, or home cooked diet. That will help you with you having an easier time to train your puppy potty training. Two, when you feed your dog, when you feed your puppy, uh, in general, you want to make sure that you take your puppy out after every feeding, playing game, after and before, preferably. After, before eating, playing, sleeping, right? Uh, if you take it outside, let's say you take it for 5 minutes and it does the business outside, good. You reward it, say, good boy, good girl. She, she's girl. Tell her, good girl, yeah, good girl, like that, right? If it does. If it doesn't, you bring it back, you put it in a crate, or you keep it on a leash, you keep an eye on it until you feel like it's feeling like to go. It wants to go, it wants to do its business. Right away, you take it outside. So it's very important to have, you know, control over your puppy, make sure that you're supervising and keeping an eye on your puppy to take it out anytime that you feel like they're just about to do it. So make sure that you control it, confine it, manage it, supervise it before and after feeding, playing, sleeping. Those are the times that you have to step your puppy out. Anytime that happens, anytime during those times, you just take it outside, and you do that for a few days, right? If you do that for a few days, you'll see that your puppy is going to get the point that, oh, the human wants me to do my business outside, not inside. Okay. All right. I hope that answered your question. So let's talk about this trivia question and figure out which one of these is the happiest dog. Okay. Let me just, which one of these dogs is the happiest? Let's talk about that. Okay. So this is something that I think many dog owners need to learn and understand and figure out about their dogs. This is very important to learn, and also read body language as well. So all of these dogs, as you can see here, they have one thing in common. They have their mouth open, their tongue is probably sticking out, except this one, right? So many people will think that these dogs are the happiest. They are happy, they're excited, happy. But the reality is that this is the dog who's the happiest. This is the happy dog face. Is the opposite of humans. This is something that dog owners, they feel like, a dog is happy because it looks like they're smiling, right? It looks like they're smiling, but it's the opposite. They're anxious, they're stressed, they're not relaxed, they're not calm, they're not happy. A happy dog looks like this. This is a sign of a dog who's happy. So let me give you a background of this photo. So one day I decided to take some dogs to the photo studio to take some pictures, and I chose these dogs and I took them with me. This is my dog Jonah, one of my first beagles. I took them all to the studio, and I asked them to sit and lie down beside me so we could take this picture. And as you can see, every dog was kind of stressed, anxious, because there was a photographer in front taking the picture, and the flashlight was making noise and all that, and all these dogs were getting stressed. But this is because my dog, and he's been trained using my training method of play and praise reward system, and it's my dog and it's been trained by me. He was the coolest, calmest dog, coolest as cucumber dog in the studio. He didn't mind that at all. He was just whatever, do whatever. It didn't bother him. So I want you to understand that, first of all, the body language is very important for you to understand that, if a dog is panting is because they're stressed and anxious. And if a dog is not panting, is very content and is calm and confident. And also, I want you to understand the benefits of training your dog. So these dogs, right? They were not my dogs. They were my clients' dogs, and they were not fully trained. They were not trained. Some of them they had some training, but they're not fully trained. So that's what happens. They become stressed if they are not fully trained. But if your dog is fully trained, you get this. You get this calmness. You get this confident dog that says, you know what, nothing bothers me. I can deal with whatever and everything. Yes, this is an old picture of mine. This is many years ago. This is, I would say, about 14, 15 years ago, I would say. And yeah, but it's a good example to show as a behavior, as something that people should know, right? And the results of what happens when you train your dog, what happens when you train your dog properly, when you train your dog the right way, the results that you get is a dog that you can put it in any situation, any condition, and it can tolerate, because he is getting the cues, from me, right? Because he is my dog, he's very connected to me, he gets the cues from me, and I'm calm and relaxed and happy and silly. So he gets that cue from me, and he follows and repeats and also copies my energy. Whereas these dogs, because they're not my dogs, except Harvey, Harvey, I just got him, and he was puppy. I was just starting to train him. He wasn't fully trained, but he was fully trained. So what happened is the other dogs, because they're not fully connected to me, they're not my dogs, right? So therefore, they followed what I had asked them to do, which was to lie down or sit down and stay for a few minutes so we can take this picture. But they were stressed just because they were not fully trained. They were not fully calm and relaxed. They didn't know how to relax, right? They didn't know how to calm down. My adopted beagle that I just had adopted, he was doing his best. He sat down and listened to what I was asking him to do, but he was like, whatever, I'll do whatever, doesn't bother me. You can do whatever. I could literally vacuum right in front of his face. He didn't care. I could do a lot of things. I remember I took him to fireworks that was happening near our community center, and it was pretty loud. It was annoying for me, but he was just like this, cool as cucumber, cool and confident. He didn't care about the noise. And that's the reason I want you to learn that when you train your dog, when you fully invest in your dog, you will have a good, well-behaved dog. And that only comes if you invest time and energy into training your dog. And training dogs it shouldn't be a chore. It shouldn't be something that you say, I gotta do this. Shouldn't be that. It should be something that is natural, normal, integrated into your life, into your lifestyle, and it's part of your life. Dog training should be that. And I teach and coach and help dog owners to somehow to figure that out and put it in their daily lifestyle. And the only way that I can do that and help you to become one of those dog owners is to if for you to have an opportunity to work with me. If you want to learn how you can integrate dog training into your life that is natural and is normal and it doesn't take away your own personal life, but it gives you an opportunity to connect with your dog in a way that is fun because you're using play and praise to reward your dog and train your dog, and it becomes part of your lifestyle. It's something that you do every day. I do this with my dogs every day. Every day I train my dog. Every day I exercise my dog. Every day I socialize my dog. Every day I care for them properly. Every day I share affection. But it's part of my life. It doesn't take away anything away from my life, and it doesn't add to my life either. It's part of my life, and that is what you have to also understand and learn that as a dog owner, dog these duties, these daily five essential needs should be part of your life. And if you can't provide these for your dog, then you're going to have trouble. You're going to have a dog who's going to have behavioral issues. He's going to be handful. You're going to have a hard time dealing with that dog. You're going to have a hard time living with that dog. But if you want to learn how to incorporate all these things in your life that is natural and it's normal and it's very easy to integrate to your lifestyle, and meanwhile have a great dog who's well behaved, then what you want to do is make sure to set up that free Zoom call to see if I can help you. I can figure out if you are type of person that you can have that life. If you are a type of person that can have a dog who's perfect dog for you, right? If I can do that, if I can figure out if you are the right person to have your dog and have great results, I can help you. I can give you all the information that you need. And the only way that we can do that and figure out is to set up a free Zoom call so we can talk to each other and figure out if you are a right match and I can help you. And to do that, just go to my description and there's a link there that you can click on it and it takes you to my calendar. We set up a day and time that is ideal for you and we talk about it and we figure out if that's the way that is going to go. Now, there's one more question that I think I have to answer, but also I want to let John to know that if you could put your Rue's Instagram link in the chat area, that would be great, so everybody can go and check out the Instagram link that you created for Rue. Last question that I'm going to answer. It's from Mitsai, I think. Mitsai. Hello, Saro. I have a 10-month-old male beagle. He keeps going under the sofa and barking, chewing sofa, usually when he is ready for a nap. Any tips? Thank you. All right. I think I know the answer. And this is something I think many dog owners, they don't realize, and then, they don't figure this out either. And it's one of the things that I teach my students and I teach everybody, actually. Did you know dogs need to sleep 16 to 18 hours a day? I bet you didn't know that, right? Especially if you have a 10-month-old puppy, you need to let your dog to sleep a lot. And it's hard to, first of all, understand that, 16, 18 hours a day, my dog has to sleep, yes. And second of all, it's very hard for a human to provide that opportunity for a dog or a puppy to sleep 16, 18 hours a day. first of all, if a dog, especially for example, your male beagle, if it's doing that behavior, is telling you, I'm frustrated, I need to sleep. If you don't allow a dog or a puppy sleep, they get uh, they get annoyed. They get what do you call? They get I need the word. For example, during when I'm running my doggy daycare, we allow the dogs to sleep from 12 to 2. We close the daycare, we let the dogs to sleep for 2 hours, because if they don't, they get cranky. Oh, that's the word I was looking. They get cranky. If you allow the dogs to play and do whatever throughout all the day, they get overstimulated, they get tired, and they get cranky. So when a dog is doing something like that, behavior like goes on the sofa barking and chewing, in most cases, I would say when most dogs are misbehaving, it's a sign that they are overstimulated. Um, you need to give them an opportunity to rest and relax. Okay, so you know, I always tell people, yes, focus on providing your dog's daily 5 essential needs, which are exercise, training, socialization, care, affection. Part of the care is not only proper feeding, but it's also allowing the dog to rest. You have to not only provide good amount of exercise for the puppy, good amount, which is physical stimulation. You have to provide good amount of training, which is mental stimulation. You have to provide socialization for your puppy as well, which is social stimulation. You have to provide care as well, and part of the care is proper diet, and also good amount of rest and sleep, and also affection as well, right? So care, part of the care is, feeding proper diet, species appropriate diet, and also providing good amount of sleep. Sleep allows the puppy to, or allows the dog or the human to repair, fix the damaged parts internally, repair cells, repair a lot of internal damages that happens during when we are awake as we live. And if we don't have enough time to rest and sleep, uh, our body starts, our body and brain and our soul starts uh, getting damaged. It gets overused, and in dogs case, for example, they get overstimulated, which causes a lot of health issues to develop, and also a lot of behavioral issues to develop because of mental state that they are. The more time you allow the dog to be in stressed um, um, state of mind, the worse it gets. So you don't want to um, let your dog to be in that state of mind too long. So relaxation, calmness, sleep is very important. So focus on that. Plus, again, focus on providing these 5 daily essential needs, and you will see that behavior is going to eventually fade away. Basically, your beagle puppy is telling you that I'm stressed, I'm not getting enough stimulation, I'm not getting enough rest as well. So help me. That's all it's saying. Okay. So, all right, we are at the end of our live show today. I hope you enjoyed the live session today. I had fun. I always enjoy coming on, staying, hanging around with you guys, and talk about dogs, and explain a little bit more in details about dogs' behavior and dogs training, dog training, and overall. Um, I will be back again pretty soon. So if you are not subscribed yet, make sure that you click again on the subscribe button right there and hit the bell icon as well. And so it will be notifying you as soon as I go live or I post a new video. And again, if you want to work with me one-on-one, and if you want to see that if I can help you, and if you need my help and you want the method of dog training that I provide, and you like the way I teach and the way I train dogs, and you want to work with me lifetime, make sure to set up that free Zoom call. You can find out the information and the link in the description area. And until next time, have fun with your dog. Okay, have fun. That's the key word. Have fun with your dog. Be a fun human being for your dog so you can get great results. Till next time, have fun.